everyone, George here, and we are back again with my implementation of my animatronic game. In the last video, I took a lot of time to do, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know I did not pretty much of anything. And that's just goes to show you that after a few months off from doing the last video, I completely forgot all the implementation steps I was taking place to make sure that this entire system works. Therefore, it's a good idea to name everything properly and to put in comments, which I neglected to do. Therefore, what I've done is I took the time in the last video towards the end to write down exactly what I need to have happen in the correct order to set everything up. And I think I've got everything down now to where we can finalize this video and hopefully test things out and place objects where they need to go in the correct order. So that being said, in the editor, we need to do a few things. The pieces, levels, and snap points all need to be set up properly. The first thing is that the pieces themselves, let's come on over here. So this is all the different Foxy pieces over here. So they each have a assembly piece on them. Each of these pieces, now why are they all saying none now? I swear I set that up already. Well, anyway, so each of these pieces needs to set the reference to the level they are a part of. So each one of these needs to know what level it is a part of when we get to that level. Our levels are up here under the level manager. Each level itself needs to know the next level that it unlocks. So if we open these up really quick, I swear, so I actually left this entire program open. I'm pretty sure I assigned all the stuff in the last video and all of those references have now been lost for some reason. Well, anyway, let's set this up again and cross our fingers that we don't screw this up. Maybe, oh, it's probably because I changed the variable name. So let's do assembly level. Let's do assign the level it unlocks. So we have L foot, R foot, shins, and so forth going on all the way up to the head. So L foot, assembly snap points to fill. And we have assembly levels to unlock. We're going to do levels to unlock first. So L foot unlocks L shin, and R foot unlocks R shin, and L shin is going to unlock L quad, and R shin is going to unlock R quad. All right. Now R quad and L quad unlock the hip. So let's do 1, and let's put hip under there, and L quad is going to unlock the hip as well. So that's the first time we come into a reference where both of these need to unlock something. Therefore, the assembly level itself is going to need to check for this. So then we do assembly level hips. Hips unlocks the tail and the chest. So let's do tail and the chest innards. The tail unlocks nothing. Now the chest innards is going to then unlock the chest plate. The chest plate unlocks 3, and that's going to be the left arm, the right arm, and the face innards. Now left arm and right arm unlock nothing. Face innards is going to unlock 2 things, and that's going to be the right face and the left face. Okay, great. So that's that set up. So let's go ahead and cross that out on our list of things to do. Now each assembly level also needs to know, oh, whoops, that's incorrect. We did this part of it. There we go. Now we also need to know what snap points for that level we're referring to. So that's our snap points to fill, assembly snap points to fill. So starting at the foot, the L foot needs to fill in the R base snap point, or excuse me, the L base snap point. Let's just, can we order these a little bit better? There we go, left, right, left, right, left, left. We have knee needs to come up here. We have base, we have foot. Let's do that one, and then we have knee right there. Then we have the 2 arms, so we have chest plate, chest innards, tail, that's fine. Then we have hip needs to go up here. And we have the left arm and the right arm, which should happen, the tail needs to go up here. That happens with the hip. Then we have the chest plate, chest innards happen up higher as well. Then the chest plate occurs, which then unlocks the left and right arm as well. Okay, so now we've got something that makes some sense. The left foot, assembly snap points to fill, is going to require filling the left base point. Oh, whoops. The right foot requires filling the R base snap point. Okay, now the left shin, we're going to need to fill, now once we've done that, we need the foot, now that we've done the base points. This is where it gets a little confusing because we start with the base in one and we start with the foot on the other. So let's do 1, and we're on the left shin. The left shin needs to fill the left foot snap point. The right shin needs to fill the right foot snap point. Next up we have the right quad. The right quad needs the, wait a second, am I doing this right? The left foot needs the base to be snapped. This is where the naming convention gets all out of whack and I'm not enjoying it at all. Let's grab the whole model really quick and take a look. So we have, that's the base node. This is the foot node, but really this shouldn't be called a foot. This should be called the ankle joint. So that's, yeah, the foot, the right foot and left. So really foot, these 2 feet ones should actually be called probably shin, because that's where the shin's connection point ends up being for each one. Therefore, for each of these, we have the foot and we have the foot. Then for the quad, the left and right quad, we're going to need, let's see, right. So we had base, foot is knee, I guess, then in that case. Yeah, once again, bad naming convention. This is something that I'll have to fix coming into this later on. So we're going to do this for the quad level. The knee snap point needs to be filled because that's where we're placing the quad. So then we need left quad, left knee. Yeah, these don't match up at all, do they? No wonder I'm having such a hard time keeping things in order. Such a crappy naming convention. Okay, so then the left quad happens. Now we have the hip. Now the hip requires both sides to be placed, which means we need, yeah, see, this is where it stops making sense, what I'm doing. This should technically require 2 different snap points be filled. Although, no, this, God. This simply requires that this level requires one thing to happen. It requires that we take the hip and we shove it in here. So let's do hip snap point. Now, how am I making sure that the right and left quads force, they don't early allow the next hip level to happen? So in assembly level hips, that should get a reference that things are okay. So assembly level hips needs to know that there are 2 levels to unlock. These are assembly levels to unlock. This happens when it's finished, it unlocks each level. But how do I force this thing to not be? So assembly snap points to fill. So this happens in a wake. I grab all snap points. That's not anything. Here we have add assembly piece. This is no longer happening. So this thing does not know what assembly pieces are necessary for it to be completed. That's a problem. Let's just make a note to ourselves really quick. How do we know what assembly pieces unlock us? Because the hips are the first level that requires 2 things. So these ones, assembly level, the previous 2 assembly levels, each have references to the hips. But they should not, but the hips should not become active until it has 2 assembly levels that are set. Which means that somewhere, I have to kind of go up the hierarchy, it looks like, and assign everyone the right associations. So this should probably happen in Assembly Manager. Or no, it should happen in Unlock Assembly Level. When I unlock the next level, I should tell that next level what it's going to require. No, wait. Yeah, see, now this is a top-down fashion instead of a bottom-up fashion in terms of informing things about what's going on. Yeah, there's incomplete knowledge here to make this work. So I do have a list of assembly pieces, required pieces for completion. Now this list requires that I know what piece to complete, what pieces are necessary for that level, which I lost when I took the game manager portion out inside of here. And that might be the reason why nothing is working right now. So we still have that the assembly pieces need to know their associated assembly level. So we can still force the assembly level pieces to gain that information through the assembly pieces by doing the for loop. So let's do this in awake. Void awake. Inform all assembly levels what their required pieces are through the assembly pieces. Okay, so let's go over here now. So we have assembly level turns off all the snap points. We also have inside of the assembly manager, we are going to iterate over all assembly pieces, Give each assembly level references to required assembly pieces to complete. Okay, so we are getting back to the way things were, but with modifications throughout the entire thing. I definitely did not give this enough thought the first time I went through. I was blindly going through it, that's for sure. Okay, so let's grab all of our assembly pieces. So assembly piece array. Oh, come on, George. The problem here is that I've got my microphone in front of my keyboard this time, which is giving me some issues with typing. Find objects of type assembly piece. There we go. So that's an entire list now of all of our assembly pieces. Now we just need to iterate over the entire thing. So for int I is equal to 0, I is, come on, I is less than assembly pieces dot count or dot length I plus plus. Now each assembly piece knows the assembly level it is associated with, and I can grab the associated assembly level. Okay, so let's do assembly pieces I dot associated assembly level, and then inside the associated assembly level we are going to call add assembly piece, and then we're going to pass in assembly pieces I. Okay, now we have informed every assembly level of every required assembly piece to unlock it. Just making sure this makes sense over here. Okay. Now that every assembly level has the known required pieces for completion, when we unlock the assembly level, we need to do a check at that time. So here we have if all finished. So what we do, for int I is equal to 0, we already have this. Once again, I made a stupid mistake. I removed something and I didn't realize how important it was. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than required pieces for completion dot count, I plus plus. If required for pieces for completion, I is equal to AP. AP.isPlace is equal to true. So we tell the assembly piece that it has been placed, and we set that to true. If it's not the right one, we don't do anything, and we say it's false. This raises a concern because this is occurring after I already modified the transform of the object to snap to the right location, which shouldn't happen. Because inside of the assembly snap point, that's what I do right here. Well, actually, no, I only do this if it's the correct piece. But I already know it's the correct piece. So what am I doing over here? I'm checking to see if it is the correct, if it's a required piece in the list. This just seems like it's in the wrong place. If it is the correct one, I say it's equal to true. If it's not, it stays false. If it's not placed, all finished is still equal to false. It is equal to false, therefore this part never fires. However, if we get through this entire loop and all finished stays true, then we go to here and we go over every assembly level that is part of this object and unlock them. And then in unlock assembly level, we simply unlock is equal to true. Wait, unlocked. Okay, this is calling on the next piece, so this goes to true. Then we go for each assembly snap points to fill, we set each assembly snap point to be on. And I shouldn't need to do anything else. Inform all assembly levels. So this already goes through all the assembly levels and checks them out. All right, let's save this really quick. Come back over here now and try to set the rest of this up because I think we might be done so long as we have everything set up properly. So we already did the assembly levels. So assembly pieces need to know what level they are part of. So that's over here. Can we move these in the right order again, please? So we have left arm, left foot. Is this being reordered every time? I swear I keep changing things. Snap points are correct. Let's move these around then. So we've got left foot, right arm and left arm can go together. Right foot goes up here. Face innards, hip goes below all of these. And we've got left quad, left shin. Tail goes down here next to the hip. Right shin, right quad. Outer face comes out here. Face innards goes there. Okay, I think we're good. So let's do this now. So we have the assembly pieces needing to know a reference to the level they are part of. So left foot is part of assembly level left foot. Right foot, left. See, these names make sense. See, they go along just fine. It's with the connection points that I messed up. Left quad, right quad. So then we have the hip, we have the tail, then we have the chest innards, then we have the chest plate, then we have the left arm, then we have the right arm, face innards. So that's going to be right face and left face. Okay, so that's done. Whoops. Looks like I already set up all the correct pieces for the snap points, so that can be turned off. Then we have assembly level, set reference to each snap point for current level. This is where I had gotten a little confused as I was going through here. So the tail needs us to fill the tail socket. So let's go to tail. Whoops. Where is it? Tail snap point. The chest innards needs us to fill the chest innards snap point. The chest plate needs us to fill 3. All of these, doesn't it? No, it needs 1. It just needs the chest. I keep getting confused. Obviously, I don't understand my own algorithm very well if I keep getting confused. The left arm needs 1, and that's going to be the left arm snap point. And the right arm snap point. Then we have assembly level face, the points that we need to fill. We need to fill the face. Where's the face? I guess that's just head innards. Do we not have snap points for the tail, chest innards, left arm, right arm, head innards? But we don't have snap points for the, that's a problem. Because my system currently doesn't incorporate reusing the same snap point multiple times. Do I really not have snap points for those? I had to have, no. As you've noticed, my brain isn't terribly good at the moment. I got a concussion about 2 weeks ago, so maybe that's giving me some problems still. That doesn't make any sense. I need to have a snap point for the 2 sides of the head. All right, well, you know what? Let's just, screw it. Let's see what happens if we put the same snap point for both. We'll trace this in just a second logically. Let's put head innards for both of them. So the assembly level is going to require that these have nothing to unlock. We get the face innards, and that unlocks the other 2 assembly levels. Now the other 2 assembly levels are going to use the head innards snap point. Now the head innards snap point, does that get turned off? Actually, that's an important concept that I haven't even thought about yet, is it? Let's go over here. Do I turn the previous snap nodes off on the assembly level? Because I don't think I do. I do unlock assembly level. I unlock this assembly level, and I do this junk. But when I do all finished, I unlock the next stuff, but I don't turn off my own snap points. So I should have a for each loop for each of my snap points and turn them off so that they don't become snappable in the future. Now, do assembly snap points have an associated level, but they don't have anything else. So I'm just turning them on and off, it looks like. All right, so let's do if all finished, so then we'll do a for each, but it's not an assembly level, it's an assembly snap point. Assembly snap point in assembly snap points to fill. We're going to turn these off. Game object set active false, and which means that the current method that I'm using is not going to work because I reuse the same assembly snap points in the future. However, technically, if I turn them all off first, here, I turn the assembly snap points off first when we do an all finish. And then inside of here, for the next assembly level, we do unlock assembly level. Unlock assembly level is going to go in here. It's going to turn itself to be true. And it's going to go to each assembly snap point and turn it back on. Therefore, I can reuse snap points using this method. So I don't need to worry about things not working. All right, that might have just saved this without me going into Maya and creating more snap points for each level. So fingers crossed on that one. Okay, so that being said, we've got no errors. Nothing bad seems to be happening. Why don't we hit run and see this fail amazingly? So let's turn on our VR stuff. Let's see, we got the tracker going. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to work. This is just implementing the system. We have no way of interacting with these objects yet using the system that we have so far. I have to grab all the work we've already done in a previous video and bring that into here and make sure that these things are usable. Now, am I using any kind of tags in this system at this time? It looks like I'm not, which means I can tag things as being usable and not worry about that failing miserably. So let's see, where was the, let's go to prefabs. I have a body prefab. Let's just make sure that that's right. Head and yes, okay. Let's grab that, bring it in here. And I believe this has gravity, so I need to add a game object. Let's add a 3D object. Let's add a plane. Scale that way up and reset that to ground 0 really quick and make that part big. There we are. And let's grab the, let's get rid of this main camera. Let's grab the body and maybe move it just back a little bit. I don't want it too far out of range. I want to bring it up a little too so I don't fall through the world. Now this has a collider on it, correct? Yes, it does, and it looks good. So there's body. So we have head, left controller, right controller. And I believe I need to make one of these a, let's see, left hand, right hand. I need to make these I need to tag them. So let's go to Foxy assembled model, grab all the pieces. Yeah, I need all the pieces, not the snap points. And I need to make them a tag. And we want to tag them as, I thought I had a tag called like usable, or was that a script? Probably was a script. Let's see really fast. Use start, use end. Maybe it wasn't usable, was it pick up? Sometimes I rewrite the same stuff over and over again and I actually forget which implementation I used. I do change things from time to time. There's hover. Do I not have a pickup system in this game? Oh my God, did I not do that yet? Sorry, I've apparently gotten confused with like the several other implementations I've done with picking things up. I don't see an implementation in this game to pick objects up, which means I'm going to stop here. And in the next video, that's what, so we have usable light. So we'll probably, let's see, usable light, line translate, security door button, graphic, use manager. Yeah, we have ability to use objects. We don't have the ability to pick them up. So in the next video, we're going to stop here. In the next video, we're going to create the ability to pick objects up, probably piggybacking on top of the usable script. We have use end, start, and end, where we intersect a game object. You know, I don't know. No, we're going to make another interface probably for pickup, and we'll bind it to the control. Anyway, we're going to talk about this in the next video. Wow, I did not believe that I hadn't done that already. Anyway, thanks for watching. And what you are seeing right now are the real frustrations you go through when you're creating something, especially when you're doing it in Scratch and you're not really spending enough time like I should have been doing over here with a checklist of how things work. But we are going to add in the next video the ability to grab an object with our controller, make it pick upable, and then with it being pick upable, bind it to the controller, transform, and then when we intersect an area that allows us to work with a pick upable object, which we'll have to check, then have whatever is supposed to happen, happen. I think that's how I'm going to do it. Not exactly sure. That's off the top of my head. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. So long, everyone, and good night.